tried going for the backside double cork 16.
We've crowned a new Olympic champion. Yuto Totsuka. Scotty James with a second silver medal to add to his collection. And Ryusei Yamada with a bronze.
Japan had no chance until Yuto Totsuka did the impossible at the Milano Cortina 2026 Games. It was February 13th, and the stadium was full of people. Other riders had very high scores, and the Japanese team was falling behind. Then Totsuka started his second run and did tricks that no one expected to see that night. The men's snowboard halfpipe final took place at the Livigno Snow Park. 12 riders made it to this big stage to show their best tricks. The Japanese team was very strong with 4 riders in the final list. These riders were Yuto Totsuka, Ryusei Yamada, Ruka Hirano, and the 2022 champion Ayumu Hirano. Japan wanted to keep the gold medal they won 4 years ago. The first round of the final started with high scores. Ryusei Yamada is 19 years old and was at his first Olympics. He took the lead early by scoring 92.00 points. His run was powerful and included a trick called a McTwist. Yuto Totsuka also had a good start with a score of 91.00. At the end of the first round, Yamada was in first place. The competition became harder in the second round. Scotty James is 31 years old and comes from Australia. He is a very famous snowboarder who has been to 5 Olympics. In his second run, he scored 93.50 points. This big score moved him past Yamada and into first place. James used a cab triple cork 1,440 and a backside double cork 1,440 in this run. Japan needed a bigger score to win back the lead. Yuto Totsuka is 24 years old and was competing in his 3rd Olympics. Before this, his best Olympic finish was 10th place. He decided to try a very difficult routine. In his second run, he performed back-to-back triple cork 1,440 seconds. This means he did 3 head-over-heels flips and 4 full spins twice in a row. The judges gave Totsuka a score of 95.00 for this run. This was the highest score of the entire night. Totsuka said after the event, "I hadn't done a run in the finals that I was truly satisfied with. So the moment I landed the first run, I finally felt satisfied. And then the second run, I raised the level even more with a triple back-to-back. It felt like a dream." Other Japanese riders also performed well. Ruka Hirano was very consistent during the final. He had scores of 90.00, 90.00, and 91.00. This put him in 4th place overall. Ayumu Hirano finished in 7th place with 86.50 points. He was still recovering from a bad fall that happened 1 month ago. Ayumu said, "The level is so high, it's beyond what I could have imagined 4 years ago." The final round was the last chance for anyone to beat Totsuka. 10 out of the 12 riders in the final tried to do triple cork tricks. Just 4 years ago, only one person did this trick in the Olympic final. Cheon Lee from South Korea made history by landing a triple cork 1620. This trick has 4.5 spins in the air. Lee finished in 6th place with a score of 87.50. The last person to ride was Scotty James. He needed more than 95.00 points to win the gold medal. James tried to do an even harder trick at the very end of his run. He attempted a backside double cork 1620. This move has never been landed at the Olympics before. James fell near the end of the pipe and could not finish the trick. Because James fell, Totsuka stayed in first place. The final results were Yuto Totsuka with gold, Scotty James with silver, and Ryusei Yamada with bronze. Japan won 2 out of the 3 medals on the podium. This win helped Japan keep the Olympic halfpipe title. Scotty James said, "If I was to lose to anyone, Yuto was the one. Yuto worked so hard, I always see him there at training. Japan has been very successful in snowboarding at these games. They have won 3 gold medals in snowboarding so far. Kira Kimura won gold in the men's big air. Kokomo Maras won gold in the women's big air. Japan's medal count reached 14 after the halfpipe event. The Japanese team uses special airbag training to learn these hard tricks in the summer. Totsuka felt very happy to win his first Olympic medal. He looked up to Ayumu Hirano for many years. Totsuka said, "I'm where I am today because I have a role model like Ayumu so close to me." He also called Ayumu his hero, but said they are still rivals. Ryusei Yamada was also happy with his bronze medal on his first try. The event in Livigno showed how much snowboarding has changed. Riders are doing more spins and flips than ever before. Scotty James said he has never seen the sport move this fast in just 1 year. Even though he was frustrated, he was proud to represent Australia. He now has 3 Olympic medals, which is a record for an Australian winter athlete. The crowd at the snow park was very excited to see the high-flying spins under the floodlights. The clear night provided a beautiful view of the athletes in the air. Yuto Totsuka's win is a major moment for Japanese sports history. He showed that hard work and learning new tricks can lead to a gold medal at the Olympics. More terrible news for Lindsey Vonn came just hours after her Olympic crash.
I have a long way to go. Tomorrow I'll have another surgery and hopefully that goes well, and then I can potentially leave and go back home, at which point I will need another surgery. I am just in the hospital, very much immobile. I feel very lucky and fortunate to have so many people around me that have really helped me get through this. So I just want to say thank you.
On February 8th, during the women's downhill in Cortina, she suffered a high-speed fall and was flown to a hospital in Italy. Doctors confirmed a severe leg fracture. Days later, additional surgeries were announced, extending her medical treatment timeline. Lindsey Vonn entered the 2026 Winter Olympics after returning to competition in late 2024. She had previously retired in 2019. Her return followed knee replacement surgery and months of rehabilitation. During the 2025-26 World Cup season, she recorded podium finishes in downhill events. In official Olympic training runs before the downhill race, she posted one of the fastest times, placing 3rd in her final practice session. The crash occurred early in her downhill run. Video footage shows Vonn leaving the racing line and becoming airborne before impact. She hit the snow hard and slid down the course. Medical teams reached her quickly. She was stabilized on the slope and placed onto a rescue sled. Due to the severity of the injury, officials called for air evacuation. She was transported by helicopter to Ca' Foncello Hospital in Treviso, Italy. Doctors later confirmed she suffered a complex fracture of her left tibia. A complex fracture means the bone broke in more than one place or pattern. It requires surgical repair. Within hours of the crash, Vonn underwent her first operation. In the following days, she had 2 more surgeries. Medical staff scheduled a 4th procedure while she remained in Italy. Doctors said additional imaging would determine if more surgery would be needed once she returned home. This injury came just days after another serious setback. On February 3rd, Vonn confirmed she had fully ruptured her left anterior cruciate ligament during a World Cup race in Switzerland. Despite the torn ACL, she chose to compete in the Olympic downhill while wearing a brace. The ACL is a key ligament that stabilizes the knee. A full rupture often requires surgery and long recovery time. She had not yet undergone ACL reconstruction before the Olympic event. Earlier in the season, Vonn had also been airlifted following a separate crash in Crans, Montana. In that incident, she returned to racing after treatment. The Olympic crash, however, resulted in a confirmed fracture that required multiple surgeries. Hospital updates described her condition as stable following each procedure. In a message shared from her hospital bed, Vonn wrote that the days had been hard, but thanked medical staff and supporters. She described the support from teammates and fans during recovery. Medical teams continued to monitor her condition and manage post-surgical care. Before the crash, Vonn was attempting to add to her Olympic medal record. She won Olympic downhill gold in Vancouver in 2010 and bronze in 2018. At 41, she was one of the oldest athletes competing in alpine skiing at the Games. Her return after knee replacement surgery was widely reported because joint replacement is uncommon among active elite ski racers. The Olympic downhill race continued after the crash. American skier Breezy Johnson won gold, finishing 0.04 seconds ahead of Germany's Emma Acher. Johnson's victory marked a major result for Team USA in women's downhill. The event took place on the Olympia del Tofane course in Cortina d'Ampezzo, which is also scheduled to host future World Cup events. Vonn's career has included multiple injuries. Over more than 2 decades of competition, she sustained knee injuries, fractures, and ligament tears. She won 82 World Cup races during her career, including 43 in downhill. She secured 4 overall World Cup titles between 2008 and 2012. Her return to racing in 2024 followed years of physical recovery and surgical procedures. The tibia fracture sustained in the Olympic crash is considered severe in alpine skiing. Downhill racers can exceed speeds of 80 miles per hour. At those speeds, crashes often result in high-impact injuries. A tibia fracture affects the main weight-bearing bone in the lower leg. Surgical treatment can involve metal rods, plates, or screws to stabilize the bone. Recovery time depends on the severity of the break and overall health of the patient. Medical staff in Treviso completed the initial stabilization procedures in stages. The first surgery addressed immediate structural damage. Subsequent surgeries focused on alignment and reinforcement. The fourth scheduled procedure aimed to further secure the fracture site. Imaging tests were planned after swelling decreased. Vonn's ACL rupture added complexity to her situation. A torn ACL weakens knee stability. Competing in downhill skiing places heavy stress on the knees. Her decision to race with a brace was documented prior to the Olympic event. After the crash, doctors focused first on the tibia fracture before addressing long-term plans for the ACL injury. Officials from the International Ski and Snowboard Federation acknowledged her injury in public statements. Team USA medical staff coordinated with Italian doctors during her hospitalization. Updates confirmed that she remained under observation as recovery continued. During the 2025-26 season before the Olympics, Vonn had placed on the podium in multiple downhill races. Those results showed competitive form leading into the Games. Her final Olympic training run, where she placed third, indicated strong speed on the Cortina course. The Olympic downhill is one of the fastest events in alpine skiing. Athletes race individually against the clock. A small mistake can result in large time loss or a crash. The course in Cortina features steep pitches, sharp turns, and long gliding sections. Weather and snow conditions can also affect speed and control. Following surgery, Vonn reported that she was resting and beginning early recovery steps under medical supervision. Doctors stated that healing of a complex tibia fracture can take several months. Weight-bearing activity is typically limited at first. Physical therapy usually begins after initial healing progresses. As of the latest medical reports from Treviso, she remained hospitalized. Plans included continued monitoring and evaluation before travel home. Further treatment decisions were expected after additional scans. The timeline of events spans just 5 days. On February 3rd, she confirmed a torn ACL. On February 8th, she crashed during the Olympic downhill. Within hours, surgery began. In the days after, 3 operations were completed and a 4th was scheduled. Her Olympic comeback had drawn attention because of her age and medical history. The crash shifted that focus to her recovery and medical status. Official updates continue to center on surgical progress and stabilization of the fracture. Medical staff have not yet provided a public timeline for full recovery. The combination of a complex tibia fracture and a torn ACL presents significant rehabilitation challenges. For now, treatment remains focused on surgical repair and post-operative care in Italy.
Canada opens their chase for Olympic gold with a 5-0 win over Czechia. And here to talk about it is Marty Biron. So, Marty, right off the bat, what was the biggest reason for this Canada win?
Well, I look at the skill level, right? Team Canada's skill level, when you look at the forwards, is like, and unlike any other teams, like they are so far and above beyond like any teams in the tournament.
Silence fell over the arena as Team Canada did more than win. They sent a message. Sidney Crosby didn't just wear the captain. He controlled the pace, the bench, and the moment. 5 goals, 0 against. A shutout that shook Czechia. But what happened behind the plays showed why this captaincy could change the entire Olympic tournament.
Team Canada, they're only going to get better from here. They were really sharp. They had things really figured out in the offensive zone, and that is only going to get better. That's only going to become more dangerous for the opposition as this tournament goes.